Cloverfield Lane. I thought it would be good. I wasn't sure if it was going to be really good or just good, or if it was going to be great. Turns out that it was really good. It's starring John Goodman and Mary Elizabeth Winstead, and John Gallagher Jr. It's essentially just three people in this movie. In the entire movie, there's only really just three people. The movie takes place almost entirely in a sub-basement on a farm that John Goodman has. I think it's Howard was his name. And he's built a bunker. He's one of those disaster preppers. And he's built a bunker with 3 years of provisions. Television, backup generators, the whole 9 yards. He's planning on staying underground for at least a year, possibly 3. The whole time you're watching it, you're like, wow, he's a complete nut. He's a complete nut. And then as the movie goes on, you're thinking, is he a nut? Maybe, maybe not. John Goodman, I think, gives his best performance. I've seen him in a lot of stuff, and I was kind of expecting King Ralph, or maybe when he played Fred for the Flintstones. That wasn't his best work. But essentially, since the days of like Roseanne, he's been a comedian. He does comedy. So you're expecting him to do comedy type stuff. You're not really expecting him to be able to give a performance that's dramatic. But if you think about it, Jim Carrey, comedian, did The Number 23. Not a great movie, but he gives a pretty good performance as a dramatic actor. Martin Short was on an episode of Law and Order where he plays a complete lunatic, and he was convincing. He was really convincing. Photoshop, done by Robin Williams, where he sneaks into people's house. He's delusional, he's crazy. Great performance. Even Eddie Murphy played a great role in Dreamgirls. Traditionally a comedian. Even Richard Pryor, the king of comedy. He was in the movie Hit, and he was also in Lady Sings the Blues. Both of them really good dramas. You should look them up. You should check them out. They're both great movies. And he did great. He was in the Mac too. And you almost want to forget that he's a comedian because the acting was so well done. It's the same thing here with John Goodman. He plays a southern type countrified kind of guy that's got this whole survivalist thing happening, and he played it well. He's a gigantic guy, and when he is doing his thing, he can be scary. He can be scary. So he goes from bad comedies to an incredible performance here, and it's a mystery. You're wondering, hey, is the guy crazy? Is he not crazy? He tells them that there is something out there. That there's been an attack, and they've got to be prepared for it. They've got to come to grips with the fact that there's probably nobody else around except them, and they kind of want to believe him, but they kind of think he's crazy. They're not really sure. There's only the other two people in this sub-basement with him, so they're wondering if he's a nut or not. Now, here comes the magic. Spoiler. Okay, this is a spoiler. So pause the video, stop the video, fast forward the video. Here comes a spoiler about the movie. You ready? I'm gonna give you a couple of seconds to get ready. Here we go. So it turns out that maybe there is something wacky happening. But if you're looking for the regular Cloverfield monster, yeah, no appearance. If you're looking for those little Cloverfield baby monsters that fell off of it and was attacking people like in the subway and on the street, no, that's not going to happen either. There is a completely different threat here. I don't want to give it away, but there's something completely different here. I know I said I was going to do a spoiler, but I don't want to give it away. The movie, it's such a good spoiler that I don't want to tell you. But there is a threat, and maybe it's just John Goodman, and maybe it ain't. But there's a real good twist here, and this movie is worth seeing. I rarely see a movie twice at the theater nowadays, but Deadpool was worth seeing twice, and so is this one. It's worth seeing 2 times. So if you get the opportunity, you should definitely see it. This movie was incredible. The acting was great. There was a suspenseful moment every 3 or 4 minutes. It was just a really well done mystery, all the way up until the end, and then all of a sudden, pow! It hits you with the twist. The twist is what's going to get you. So definitely see the movie. Enjoy. Write in the comments. Tell me if you like the movie. Tell me if you think I've given away too much, or maybe I didn't give away quite enough. But as always, if you like what you saw, if you like the video, please subscribe and hit likes. Or don't hit likes, but comment. Tell me what you think.
Popcorn passport. Get your popcorn passport.